Well, the biggest problem is now not… one thing is mortality, but mortality in India, the rate is not very high, we've managed it. If it's kind of… it is bad because the doctors are dying and people who are in touch with the disease consciously are becoming victims. It is a challenge, but mortality rate is not very, very high. 80% of the people who get infected with this virus may not show any symptoms, that's what they're saying. They may just live with it. Nothing they will show. This is also a problem because without any symptoms, they have the virus and these are the people who will carry it across the place because they don't even know they're carrying it. They won't cough, they won't sneeze, nothing happens, everything is fine, but they will be spreading the virus. That is the reason why it has spread the way it has spread, why the contagiousness of this particular virus is higher than what we have seen in the past, is mainly because of this. The asymptomatic carriers are all over the place. You and me could have it, we don't know, we are healthy and we are well, we don't even think there's something wrong with us, but we could be spreading. So right now, what have we done? We have done absolutely nothing about the virus. We have just controlled human behavior a little bit with lockdown and restrained it a little bit. But once the lockdown goes, how it'll flare up, to what extent, how much damage it will cause to health and medical infrastructure we have, whether it can take that kind of load and how many fatalities will happen out of this is anybody's guess. Because in a country like United States, already they've crossed 45,000 deaths. In the density of population that we have in India is a different matter, but at the same time, Indians may have much stronger immune system because they're exposed to many things normally, and like for example, tuberculosis, which is a very serious thing elsewhere, but almost 95% of the Indians won't pass the Mantoux test. Almost all of us will show that we have some kind of tuberculosis bacilli within us, but we are not sick in any sense. So in this context, I feel that particularly the rural population in India is resilient. I don't think much fatalities will happen, but the disruption of economic activity, that is going to be the biggest challenge for us because markets are being destroyed, many aspects of life where people need to come together will not happen. Well, agriculture may get on, get going, but even for that, for example, right now, the vegetable growers and the fruit growers, this is mango season. I think nearly over 60% of the mangoes will rot this year because nobody is going to go and buy mangoes outside. Like this, the market shelves are destroyed because nobody is going to the market. And textile is a huge thing in India. Substantial number of people are engaged in textile industry. I don't think it will take off in any near future. When I say near future, at least for 1 year, I don't think, because people won't go and buy clothes when there is an economic restraint. So many industries will take a big hit, every one of us. Well, the government will take a big hit, the large businesses will take a hit, small businesses will take a hit, individual people will take a hit, institutions will take a hit. All of us are going to take a hit. So one of the biggest challenges right now is, in the last 20 years of economic activity and certain amount of liberalization and progress that happened, we raised about 250 people out of poverty. But in the next year, we may be pushing them straight back below the poverty line, it's very much possible. But our ability to bounce back, I'm talking in economic terms, in terms of the infection, in terms of what the virus will do to us, nobody has a clear picture. There is no clear picture anywhere, every day new observations are coming. But in terms of economy, if we have the virus reasonably under control at least by September, if in India, at least by September, if we have that, then probably if we do all the smart things to attract a huge amount of outside investments, because right now, Japan has put out over $5 billion to get their industry out of China. And America will definitely do similar things. at least 300 companies will be looking for a new home, if not fully, at least partially. That new home must become India. All of you in business, in collaboration with the government, you must grab this, because these 28 states that we have, if we ensure a minimum of 10 big industries going to each one of these states, it will keep us buzzing and we can, in many ways, handle this. But please, because you are the people who are in business, you should know better than me, but in my opinion, I feel without a huge amount of investment coming from outside, we will be in a very dire situation. Those who are well-to-do may survive, businesses may go, people survive, but down below, the workers, the daily wages, there will be a very serious situation. We could be pushing millions of people back into poverty unless we get a phenomenal amount of investment from outside. I don't think we can just kickstart everything inside the country because we need markets. The markets may not be coming back to normal in 18 months, 12 to 18 months' time or even 24 months' time. So these are hard times, but as you said, it's a kind of a war. But at least nobody's bombing our homes, nobody's shooting at us. It's a virus. If we behave responsibly, we can survive through this and live through this. So one of the most fundamental things for the next month is all of us stay alive. That's the most important thing. If we think what we are doing is important, then the important thing is to stay alive and ensure people around us stay alive. This is the fundamental responsibility right now. And if we stay alive and strong, bouncing back will happen one way or the other.